Rose, Ashley Rose Nova. You can call me Ash. I'm with TWM News, and I am here with the current X Division champion, Trey Miguel. First of all, Trey, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm back home. It's lovely, but other than that, I am good. I caught you live. I actually saw you win the X Division championship.
Yeah, were you there for the entire weekend of
Yes, I
taping?
was. Oh, I
Cool, cool.
was. So I don't want to give too much away because that second night has not aired yet,
Correct.
just yet.
Yeah. Oh,
But
I know that you were there. I seen you tweet about it for the second night. Yeah. Thank you for the compliment.
yeah, I will say I've never seen one bad match of yours.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to take down some stuff because I guess the Twitter copyright policy changed.
No, I don't know how to navigate Twitter anymore. I'm just waiting for my check mark to disappear and for me to just quit getting on that app and take it to Hive if that thing takes off.
Yeah, Hive is interesting. It's new. We're on.
Right? It's like Twitter, MySpace, and Instagram all just like hopped in a blender and made this new thing. It's weird.
I saw
I don't
someone compare it to Tumblr too.
I've never got on Tumblr. I've never even like
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I don't know about that. You
never
know,
been to that website.
yeah, I'm old, so I was around during MySpace when it first launched. So there we go.
Those were the days, and I feel like so much wavered on your MySpace. We had like the top four, top eight, and depending on where someone was numerically in that thing would let you know how much they liked you or not and stuff like that if you were even in it at all. It's so funny. Oh, the way times change.
Fights and friendships were ended
Oh
because of
my
that.
god.
You know it's true.
It is. It is very true.
The great thing about that time frame when social media first started was the music. The
Oh my
music.
god. And then you could when we finally like upgraded from just having one song, you could do like the playlist box thing and stuff like that and have your whole background. Those were the days.
Yeah, it was nice.
Now we get a cover photo and that is it.
And occasionally, you can tweet out like whatever you're listening to on Spotify.
Right.
I do that when I have nothing going on. But I also like sharing music, so let's talk about your win as far as this weekend at Overdrive. So what can we expect from you as the current X Division champion? I know that this is not your first time being a champion. I've seen you at Revolver as well. I've seen you a lot of places, and I've seen you hold a title. So what's your expectations as far as being the new X Division champion?
The first time I had it, I think I was just a little wrapped up in the kind of admiration of the championship itself. It was a little unbelievable to me. So I think I spent too long appreciating it, if that makes any sense. Now that I have it again and I realize like how I treated it the first time, now I'm ready to have fun with it. I feel like that's something that I didn't really do the first time around the block with the championship. I may have taken things a little too seriously, and now I'm just ready to have more fun with it. Um, and more fun with what I'm doing, even like championship aside and all that with my character and wrestling at Impact and everything like that. Like I just want to start enjoying my job at a new level. I love the job that I do and I love the people that I work with, but you can never have too much fun, especially while you're getting paid to do it. So that's what I'm ready to do this time.
I don't, like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but I really think
It's hard. I hate it. I hate it.
I mean, but I had tweeted, I said, for the record, Trey Miguel looked really badass on night two. So I was like, I know that's all I'm gonna say. But I really think Impact Faithful, I think the fans are going to dig the new approach, the new look. I don't want to give it away. That's why I have not posted any photos or any videos. I want them to actually, see it themselves if they were not there live.
And I appreciate that. I really do, because I follow back, like, every so often I'll do one of these follow for follow things, so that way I can try to see what people are like, are fans and frequenters of Impact Wrestling, like what they think, how they feel, and such. And when I do that, I finally get to see what their feedback is about certain stuff. And one of the things that I can see that they hate is when the spoilers go out. And
Oh yeah.
I can understand that too, especially when they don't have access to go see the live events themselves. Maybe they live in an area that we haven't visited yet or anything like that. And they just want to enjoy it like they do any other program that's live without spoilers. So it's appreciated when people don't ruin it for the rest.
I try. I'm very big on community.
You can ruin it for me. I'm my own biggest fan. You can send me all the videos and pictures you have. I'll ask you to.
But yeah, no, I think they're really going to like it. I really do. I was surprised, but like I said, I really strongly feel that they're going to enjoy, this upcoming X Division run of yours. Not that they didn't enjoy the first one, but
Sure.
I definitely think they're going to enjoy this one a little bit more because I feel like it's more tailored to you as a person, as a character.
Yeah, I agree. And I appreciate that again.
Speaking of where to watch Impact, let's tell people you can get Impact Plus. You can also become an Ultimate Insider on YouTube. You go to youtube.com/Impact Wrestling. For you got access to the archive. You get access to Impact Plus events, and you can watch Impact every Thursday, commercial free, chat with the community, and also you can watch it on Access TV. So now,
I actually subscribe to the to the Impact YouTube channel. So
the Ultimate
every
Insider.
so often, yeah, so every so often, that's my main way of watching it, because with however many, I don't watch anything that's live on TV anymore. Like, there's really nothing that isn't just directly put on streaming services. So I kind of find cable obsolete anymore. So YouTube is the way that I tune in every week to watch Impact. And every so often I'll hop in the chat box and just start fooling with people. So you never know.
Yeah.
Do it that way and you might run into a conversation with me.
It's fun, it's nice to actually, chat with people while they're watching it.
Yeah.
I, watch it that way. You also get BTI as well and additional programs, interview programs. I think Tom has one on there as well. Sammy has his, occasionally he pops on live. So my boss, Richard, he's not here for this party, this shindig. He wanted to know, what's your favorite Spider-Man movie?
Ooh, that's a hard question. It is and it isn't, I guess. Probably No Way Home. I mean, like, that's just like the most ultimate Spider-Man movie, I guess.
It's the best one, honestly. Let's talk about it.
It's got everyone, 1000%. And then, secondly, and this is a surprise, but I think the Miles Morales Spider-Verse movie. I did not expect to love that movie as much. I'm checking out. I was like, all right, this is probably going to be pretty cool. It's Spider-Man. It's Miles Morales. It has to be good. I loved that movie. Seriously, I hold that in such a high regard. So that might be number 2. But yeah, No Way Home, hands down.
Yeah, the first ones were good. The first Spider-Man movie. The third one, not so much. And I'm talking about, like, if we're talking about director Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi. Yeah.
Speaking of Sam Raimi, are you a horror movie fan? I saw you talking about Halloween.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm a huge horror film fan. I got my whole right leg is tattooed with, it's a Halloween sleeve.
Is that why you were quite upset?
Quite upset's not even remotely close to the way I was actually feeling. I was ready to burn things down.
I've been avoiding that Halloween movie, so it's okay.
I mean, if you want to just enjoy, like, your fandom of Halloween, it's worth never ever checking out. It seriously is. If I could go back and not watch that movie, I'd go back and just, like, wonder. I would deal with the what ifs and all of that, but I would. Yep. if I could take it back, I would.
Now we'll go to a couple questions from the community. So thank you. I appreciate you tweeting it out as well. But I
Of
always like
course.
to ask them, if they have any questions for whoever I have an interview coming up with. Rock wants to know, not Dwayne Johnson, but Rock Man for the community wants to know, will you get another tattoo? If so, of what?
Yeah, actually, we're still working on the rest of my leg. I have to do the back of my thigh next for the Halloween sleeve on my right leg. And then some filler stuff in between to connect everything. And I think I have 2 appointments booked for the month of January on it, and then probably 2 or 3 left to go after that. So that'll be what's next in the books. It's all Michael Myers stuff for now. Outside of that, I'm so sick of tattoos right now. They hurt so bad. I got one more to do. I'm going to cover up one that's behind my ear and then just get it moved somewhere else because it was like a matching tattoo with someone that I don't care to have a matching tattoo with anymore. But the tattoo still means a lot to me, so I want to have it. But that'll probably be the next thing on the list outside of this Halloween piece.
They hurt so bad.
I'm so over it. I swear to God, I'm so over it. I hate it so much.
Uh, it's fine. It's understandable, especially if you get like your rib cage done. You get your I don't have a chest piece, but I hear that they're pretty they're
It's
painful.
extremely uncomfortable.
I hear they're painful.
They hurt. You don't want to move a lot, but you got to breathe. And when you breathe, your chest expands, and that's right where they're trying to keep straight lines and whatnot. It's not fun.
And as far as your X Division championship, let's we'll go back to it. Who are you looking forward to facing, and also who would you want to face? Outside of Impact, because sometimes Impact, tends to put the belts on the line at certain indie promotions. I've seen it at AAW. I can't recall if it's been done at Revolver. I'm sure it has. So who would you look forward to facing, or who would you want to take that type of opportunity?
I got asked this question earlier, and I gave a different answer. And since then, I've been within the hour and 15 minutes I've had since my last interview, I've been watching wrestling. And my answer, I have a different answer. Not that like I don't want the answer that I gave you before,
No,
but
it's okay.
I was thinking about it, and I got to share just a matter of minutes in the ring with Frankie Kazarian for a gauntlet that we recently did, and it was a really fun few minutes. And he's a guy that was on television before I even started training, when all I was a fan. And I didn't realize how much I liked Frankie as a person and a wrestler until I had gotten to know him and shared a locker room with him. One of the first conversations that we had was about Halloween. He's a huge Halloween fan too. I was changing in the locker room and he noticed my leg tattoos, and he asked me like, "Are you excited for Halloween Ends?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And then we just dove into it for like 2 hours. And then we got to wrestle for a little bit, and I was like, "Man, he is the man. Like he seriously is. The dude's an anomaly." And I don't think he gets enough. I don't think he gets enough credit for just how good he is. The dude is so smooth out there. And I was like, man, that only lasted like 2 or 3 minutes for me. I'd love a 15-20 minute match with him if I could ever have one. So I would put Frankie Kazarian on that list at the top of it right now.
He's so good. So good.
Oh, 1000%.
Now, I believe it was my other boss, Jade, wanted to know, what is your playlist looking like, before you go out to the ring?
I listen to a lot of Issues. Issues is probably what I'm listening to before I go out to wrestle, or oh my God, it's hilarious. I mean, just because it just came out, but like the Drake and 21 Savage album is it's so hard to listen to without thinking about all the memes that have hit the internet over just like one song alone. But I listen to that. But more than anything, I listen to the band Issues. That's my favorite band. That's like the Rascals' favorite band. So like I think of Des and Zach, and Myron's not so high on them. I don't even think Myron has ever listened to them or anything like that. But it takes me back to a place where, you know, it was all three of us at Impact doing our thing, and that's like my favorite time in wrestling throughout my entire career. So that puts me in a good place right before I wrestle. But if I'm being quite honest, I'm not really a music guy before I wrestle. And that's something I was actually thinking about this last set of tapings that we did. I was walking up the stairs to get in gorilla position, and Frankie Kazarian he had headphones on and he was doing like a little workout. And I thought about it then. I was just like, you know, I don't really listen to music a whole lot before I wrestle. I see guys that keep headphones on all day or right up before their match, and it doesn't help me focus on the match. If anything, it'll take me out of like the thought process or anything like that. So, and I like to try to stay into it as much as possible, but I normally get a workout in the day of that I wrestle, so Issues will be on the playlist. But leading up to it, I don't really listen to music.
That's okay. You know, I think everyone has their own like rituals, you know, practices as far as when they're getting ready. So it's, you know, it's totally understandable. You want to be in the zone. You want to make sure exactly, you know, what you're doing. You want to be prepared. So that's understandable. So, what are the chances of the Rascals getting back together, and what are the chances of Myron Reed maybe coming over?
I have no answer for either, honestly. Aside from the independence that Myron, Zach, and I get to frequent, that's probably the closest that anyone will get for the foreseeable future. You know, like Desmond Wesley, he's in NXT. He signed an extension on his contract earlier this year, so he's already there for more time than he originally thought he would be when he initially got signed on. Zach, who is just on the independents right now, and then Myron, I believe, has another year with MLW, and I have another year with Impact Wrestling. So it's a lot of moving parts, and it makes it difficult to answer that question, unfortunately. But
Okay.
unless you see us on the independents, the variation that you'll get of the Rascals would only consist of Myron, myself, and Zach. Unfortunately, who knows when all four of us will ever get back together.
That's okay. You know, that's just a question from the community. That's honestly what their main question was. So thank you for answering that. And, you know, that at least gives them an idea.
Sure.
So you're a Halloween fan?
Yep, that's my jam. That's my number one out of everything.
So what's your favorite Halloween and why is it Halloween 3?
I'm gonna keep it.
Sorry.
Where's the leave button?
Sorry, come on. That was good.
Oh my god. That was good. It's 78.
That's a good one.
It has to be the original. It's the only one that portrayed the vision it was supposed to. Everything after that was some spin-off of some sort. You know what I mean? Like John Carpenter. I don't know why I said that weird. I like stretched out the R. He never wanted part 2 to be a thing. So then when part 3 happened, I mean, that just went all the way off the rails.
It was supposed to be an anthology after that point.
Yeah, and I understand that, but it didn't work. And once that didn't work, it was like, okay, let's leave it. But I don't hate any of the sequels after. I hate things about them. My least favorite mask is part 5, hands down. It's not even freaking.
It's not the correct mask. So
yeah, I believe it's a different mold of someone's face, and then there's this weird triangle that is just like around the nose because they had to do a weird fix. I hate part 4's mask, but I understand why that mask looks the way it does. I actually H2O had a sucky mask, but I think it's one of the best stories out of the entire series of them. Resurrection gets a lot of flack. I think for
How do
I
you
don't hate it
feel?
because I think everything like there's got to be one for comedic relief a little bit, something you know what I mean.
Yeah, the
I'm not mad.
mold's different. It's not
I'm
William
not.
Shatner's face.
Yeah, and and it didn't look terrible. I think for any other mask that wasn't Shatner's face, Part Six was probably my favorite mask.
I'm glad you brought up part six because I was actually going to ask you how you felt about part six because there are
I
some
wasn't.
feelings about it.
Um, Part Six was. Yeah, it was what it was. I actually like Part Six. I'm not a fan of the Man in Black idea. I was never high on the Curse of the Thorn either, or like the occult aspect of it. It started to reveal too much. I think the less we know, the more frightening it is, and the more that you try to reveal, it's just like this becomes less and less fun to watch. But I don't hate the movie. If I hate any of them at all, it's Halloween Ends, and
Not even
that.
Rob
And who
Zombie.
doesn't love Paul Rudd?
A lot of people don't like that movie,
I know.
and I don't know why. I honestly don't get it, but I do know that there's like two different variations of that movie. I've seen
Yeah,
both of
and
them.
I've seen the original. I used to have a bootleg VHS of it when I was a kid, and I lost it. But now you can. There's a DVD remaster of the original cut that you can watch out there. So, and it's been since I was a kid since I've watched that version of it. And this was something I was talking to Kazarian about. He's the one that told me that there's a DVD of it. Yeah, so I'm gonna go out there and get this DVD and sit down and watch it soon.
Yeah. My sister's actually a really big Halloween fan, which is why I know
Mhm.
so much about it. She's like she collects like, pretty much every single release.
Mhm.
So I've seen so many different releases of pretty much all of them. Besides Halloween, we could talk about Rob Zombie's Halloween, wasn't too bad. I don't hate it. Some people
I don't
do.
hate the first one. The first one I don't completely hate. The second one is right there with Halloween Ends.
It's pretty close. What else do you like? I see you have a poster of the Joker. I believe that is.
Yeah, that was actually a gift from my mom. I used to love the Dark Knight like every other tool in the world that thought the Joker was cool. Aside from
Joker's
wrestling,
great.
he is great. I think people it's just like it became all you saw forever though. You know what I mean? Like do we all just only have one interest? Do we only think this one thing is cool? Um but I'm really big on sneakers. I love collecting shoes. Hunting them down is my favorite part of it. Trying to go to different shops. We were just in Louisville over the weekend, and there was this place called the Capsule that had a bunch of stuff. I think Josh Alexander went in there and bought. It looked like 5 or 6 pairs of shoes, and he had a bunch of vintage WWF and WCW shirts and stuff like that for sale. And I like visiting shops like that when I'm traveling. I didn't get to visit that shop, unfortunately. I didn't have time. This with everything that we had going on this weekend, this was hands down the busiest weekend at Impact that I've ever had. I had a lot for day two anyway. That was just there was so much to get done in that day. Um, so I didn't get to visit that shop, but there's shops around Toledo and other places that I go. Whenever we get to a different city, one of the first things I look up is if they have a sneaker resale shop, because that means that I have somewhere to go hunt for gold. And the thrill of the hunt's the favorite part, getting in the Ubers and going across, 45 minutes somewhere that you in a neighborhood you got no idea about, meeting people, finding out where their interest even lies. Is this something that they like? Do they love sneakers, or is this just a means to make money for them and they know how to do this? They know how to flip things. Some people have pieces of history hanging up inside of their sneaker shops and vintage shops and stuff like that. So that's one of my favorite things to do outside of wrestling. I spend more time diving into that than I do wrestling anymore. Like when it comes to like watching it and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
and like what I do with my phone and such. But yeah, that's a big one for me.
As far as sneakers, what's your favorite pair that you've come across?
Oh man, all right. So I have two favorites. It's hard because I have one tattooed on me. It's my best friend, one of my best friends back home. he owns a sneaker resale shop inside the mall. So I have the Air Jordan Chicago 1 tattooed on my arm, and that's the logo that he uses. And then I have the name of his store under it too. It's called Soul Status. But I didn't own this shoe forever. It's one of the hardest shoes to get your hands on, and it just got re-released this past Saturday, and I went and bought 2 pairs of it. So that's probably my biggest hit so far, but I don't know if it's my favorite pair. My favorite pair I do own. I bought it for my birthday earlier this year. It is the Air Jordan 4 Off-White. And I'm scared as a motherfucker every time I put it on. The last time I wore it to Impact. I put it in my bag wrapped in plastic, and I don't know what touched that plastic in between me wearing it and taking it out of my bag, but something did, and it stained the side of my shoe. I spent about 45 minutes in my window to get the best sunlight that I could, brushing this. I don't know what was left on it, but I had to do all this suede scrubbing and erasing and re-napping to get it back to where it was. But I saved the shoe. It's perfectly okay. I haven't looked at it since, and if I pull it out and realize that something is wrong with it, I will cry. I will fork up an additional $1,400 to rebuy the shoe, and I'll sell that pair. And the crazy thing about these things is what the value of them goes for. Like that shoe that I paid $1,350 for, I could wear this thing probably 10 times and then go and sell it for at least $800 or $900. It's the world of sneakers is crazy. It's such a hard thing to explain to people unless you love it and you just get it yourself.
I'm not really big on collecting shoes, but I love shoes as well. Just in general, I do. Main reason is because I don't know how to appropriately walk. And what I mean is, like, I tend to scuff my shoes.
Okay.
So I know exactly what I'm talking about. Like,
oh my god, I mean, like, I know where my love for sneakers comes from. It comes from getting picked on. I got picked on so hard when I was a kid. I went to Cherry Elementary and DeVoe Junior High and Start High School, and throughout my entire life, my dad was like, "Look, man, I made too many of you guys. I gotta buy a lot of shoes. All right, I ain't got money for Air Jordans and Air Force Ones like you guys want."
Was there like 12,
so
12 of y'all?
There were I mean, funny enough, that's the number. That's how many of us there are.
Cheaper by the dozen.
But we are so spread out. Like my oldest brother's in his 40s. Yeah, I'm just 28. So, growing up though, it was like Buddha, Christian, Kayla, and myself were the ones that weren't adults yet. That in my lifetime that he was taking care of. So he's like, "Yo, I'm buying shoes for 4 of you guys. We can't do the most right now." And there used to be this shop down the street that sold fake shoes. They sold the knockoffs. So he would get us the knockoffs, and we would go to school. My shoe would have a hole in it at the end of 2 weeks. The bottom of my fake Air Force Ones, you could see the little waffle grid mark. And I got made fun of hard for it, like super hard. And it made, like, back then that sucked, especially for something that like I couldn't control. And no matter how much I cried and asked for like a new pair of shoes, I couldn't justify it to my dad to get it for me. Like he didn't see how much I was getting bullied in school because I didn't bring it home. And so like that carried over through my high school years and everything like that. And with that, you become envious and jealous of the people that get to have all those things. So I told myself then, like, when my dreams come true, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to buy myself any shoe I ever want. If I want it, I'm buying it for myself. It's my own reparations. It may be silly to other people, but I ate so much shit for so long that now you'll never see me in a shitty pair of shoes. It just won't be a thing. I dealt with that for too long, and it made me feel too crappy about myself at an age where things like that should not have mattered, and it's something that you shouldn't have been getting bullied for. And I did, and I'd get physically abused for it. I'd get like jumped and beat up by kids that just thought it was funny because of things I didn't have that they did, and the difference between us was entertaining to them.
I understand. I went through a lot of difficulties in high school as well. Uh, growing up as, in South Texas as, you know, some chick that liked, punk rock and had that preference and style of music, very few friends, not a
Yeah,
major, scene. So I understand, but we're gonna wrap it up, Trey. And I have to ask you this question, and I ask everyone that I
sure.
talk to from Impact as well. Do you have anything to say to your fans who will watch this video? That any advice, anything positive you want to tell them?
Life is about smiles and cries. It's the one thing that we have control over. It really is. Like, people can't rob you of that. You can choose to smile. Even when you're crying, you really can. One of my best friends 2 nights ago, I missed two, or not 2 nights ago, but yesterday night, I missed two interviews that I was supposed to do yesterday because one of my best friends called me hysterical. I've never heard him like this. And he was trying to commit suicide. So I stayed up with him the entire night until he was straight and until he was ready to go to bed. And we had talked him down and all this. I was up until about 10 a.m. And he called me at 8 p.m. the night before. And I've never been more proud of my friend to be that close to doing something so self harmful. And he reached out and asked for help or asked for help. And we are getting into the season where seasonal depression is something that's very serious, and it's something that shouldn't be taken lightly along with any other mental health issues. And if my friend didn't call me, he said that he had no one else to call. And I'm just really glad that I was free and available to do that for him, because if I didn't answer that phone call, who knows what would have happened. Call anyone and everyone that you can and that you think will help you, and even people that you may feel like you may be annoying. He was so afraid to be annoying me at the time that that was what we talked about for half of the night. I had to convince him that it doesn't matter what time of day, like, you can call me for this. If anything, reach out to someone. You can always ask for help. Do not be ashamed of that. Your friends and family will be so happy and proud that you did that.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and congratulations on your upcoming run as X Division champion.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So, thank you again for your time.
Of course, you too.